Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into some Cookie Run Kingdom and specifically talking about Super Mayhem. Guys, we've got 3 days left, so now is the time to grind. Let's dive in here, give you guys some tips and some tricks, and hopefully help you get those additional tiers. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in the intro, we literally have 3 days left at the time of recording this video before the season officially comes to an end. And if you guys do not know why it's very important that you should be grinding right now at this very moment, if we go to the season rewards, we legitimately have not only your individual reward, but also your guild's reward based on the overall tier that you individually climb and then your guild individually climbs, all right? So again, just like the standard season arena, you want to make sure that you are grinding this out, climbing to whatever the highest tier you possibly can to get some of these additional crystals and the additional medals. Although I know it's not as lucrative as the regular Kingdom Arena, you still do not want to be missing out on the additional resources, okay? Same thing goes for your guild. Based on where your guild drops into the game, if it's top 80%, for instance, you're going to get an additional 7,000 crystals and 1,700 medals. Again, you don't want to sleep out. And a large misconception here that I see throughout the entire community and people asking in various discords, that's going to be, how exactly do you claim the guild reward at the end of the season? Well, right off the bat, you have to be in a guild first, then you participate in at least one battle of Super Mayhem. If you do not participate in Super Mayhem and you are in a guild, then it will not count. And not only that, if you do Super Mayhem battles first, then you join a guild, but do no more Super Mayhem after, once again, it will not count. You got to join the guild first, then you at least got to do one battle in Super Mayhem for it to count as contribution, so then you can get your reward when the season officially ends. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to dive in here and give you guys some tips and some tricks or things that could hopefully help you out with climbing up for the remaining 3 days. The first thing up is you got to understand is that you need to make sure that you are searching and looking at every single opponent that you are potentially going to be going up against. And I mean further than just their first team. If you see this 1, 2, and 3 at the very top here, and you click on them, you can actually see each individual team. However, they will probably have at least one team, depending on your tier, that you cannot see. Well, the team that you cannot see, obviously the only thing you can see, though, is their attack power. Outside of that, it's going to be a guessing game. I would not focus too much around the hidden team. Instead, what you should be doing is you should be putting in enough effort to look at each one of the cookies that are being used, the levels on each cookies, the promotions on each cookies, the treasures that each team composition is using, and then not only that, exactly how that team functions and what you can expect to happen. And the reason being is because that's how you should be making sure that you cater your teams up against their teams, right? You want to make sure that you are doing a direct counter or making sure that you can survive against whatever team that you would be going up against at that very moment, according to whatever stage you're currently on. Not only that, same thing goes for overall planning out your individual team. When it comes to picking and choosing your 3 teams, I highly recommend that you stick to one of the 4 main compositions that are utilized the most popular in the game. Very first one, running something like you can see my very first team here. I just call it like a Sea Fairy, Frost Queen, team basically. I mean, it's Sea Fairy and Frost Queen are your staples, and then everybody else around them, or the 3 remaining, typically seem to cycle out according to what you have. Obviously, you've got some sort of healer here. I am currently utilizing Cotton. You can use Pure Vanilla. You can use Parfait. Basically, whatever healer you want to use, that's going to be what you need to add on top of Frost Queen and Sea Fairy, and then whatever 2 tanks you can run. Typically, we've got Hollyberry and Cocoa, Hollyberry and Crepe, Hollyberry and Moon Rabbit. Basically, whatever you have, that's what you need to be placing and filling out at least one composition. It's very, very strong currently in the meta. The second team that I think a lot of people are currently running as well, and that's going to be some sort of scam comp, okay? So for me personally, I'm running the Ginger Brave Almond comp. You can obviously build around whatever, cookies you have around that, some sort of healer or support unit to obviously maintain your team if you happen to stay alive through like the first couple bursts. Otherwise, you want, obviously a Lily or a Rye, somebody with some single target damage that can work and pair very well with doing damage with Almond. And then the third and fourth compositions, I would honestly say that I think something like the Speed Meta comp is very, very popular right now and does a ton of damage very, very fast. So it's an easy one that you could potentially throw in here and build and utilize to your advantage as a third team. Same thing goes for your fourth team here. I mean, I would honestly say another really good composition would be the Summoners comp. So if you have the cookies available to you, then build the Summoners comp, add it as to one of your one, two, or three teams. Alrighty, and then as far as overall strategy goes here, one of the big ones is going to be you want to make sure you win the very first round. The reason being is because when you win, you're going to go into the second round with the enemy's second team, and you want to make sure that your first team sucks all of the cooldowns from the enemy's team, meaning as soon as the enemy's second team pops off all of their skills, that starts their cooldown timer. Even if their second team does end up beating your team, your second team is going to come out ready to go do as much damage as possible, and the enemy's second team will have, at that point, no ultimate skills to use because they will all be on cooldowns, and that is why it's very important to win the very first battle. Same thing goes into the third battle. If you happen to manage to do that, your second team should have no problem killing off the enemy's second team, which then would bring out their third team. Again, their third team's going to utilize all of their cooldowns, probably destroy your second team potentially, and then when that happens, your third and final team comes out. Guess what? The enemy, once again on their third team, has nothing but cooldowns. They cannot utilize any of their skills. Your cookies are ready to go, and hopefully you can win the battle. And then the last thing I want to leave you guys off with today, and that's going to be utilize your free refresh timer, man. I cannot stress this enough, guys. We literally can only see 3 opponents at a time versus 5 like the standard season arena, and because of that, you really want to make sure that you are utilizing the free refresh to your advantage. And as you can see here, we're going to go ahead and utilize it just to show you. Once we do that, if you own the Kingdom Pass, your refresh will be only 10 minutes. If you do not own the Kingdom Pass, your refresh will be all the way up to a whopping 30-minute refresh timer. But nevertheless, you still need to make sure you are taking advantage of that, especially if you have only been able to beat 1 opponent out of the 3 and you're waiting for that refresh timer. Don't close out of the game. Don't forget about it, especially for these last 3 days. If you are looking to grind out the tiers, just go move on to do something else into the game for a remaining 10 minutes or 30 minutes, come back to it, then utilize the free refresh and grind it out as much as possible before it officially resets, once again in 3 days. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude today's video. Like I said, I just wanted to get in here, do a very quick announcement, but just make sure that everybody understands the importance of getting in here and grinding out Super Mayhem for the remaining 3 days. Because like I said, guys, we're closing in on the update that's coming out very, very soon and the 1-year anniversary, so you do not want to be resource lacking of any sorts. You want to be hoarding up as much as possible, and that's going to only aid with giving you guys the additional crystals and metals that you can get from the overall Super Mayhem when it officially resets. As always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know exactly when I drop a video and when I go live, which is typically Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And don't forget, guys, we've also got a Discord. The link's provided down below in the description. I'll pop it up here as well. And with that being said, as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.